Hey everybody, so this is week 15 and 16. Not too much has happened, so that's why I've been joining the weeks, and hopefully this video won't be too long because it's late and I'm tired, but need to get it done. So we'll go into some differences. So I learned in my Spanish class that, so I told you all about how they have people that put the groceries in the bags, and we have those back home too, but we tip them here. And I learned that the people that are doing that actually have to pay a fee to the grocery store to actually be working there, which is crazy because like they don't even earn that much money. It's not like a lot of money that they have to pay. It's like I think like 2 mil or something like that. So like $5-ish or something, and that's each day. Um, But yeah, I thought that's crazy that they have to pay to work there even though they're like not really making anything. So I actually want to like tip a person like a meal. I mean, it's like $1 something, but I feel like they'd be really surprised. So definitely gonna do that before I leave. Um, they have also I don't know if I've talked about this, but they have like these stores, kind of like a CVS store, but it's like you can't just go by and like pick stuff that you want. Everything's behind the counter, so you have to like go and ask them like, "Hey, I want this, I want this." I think I've actually talked about that one. Um and also their food places, like I've always heard this before too. Um the food places adapt to the culture. So like here McDonald's, they have like a section for like baked goods and coffee and tea, because like here like once is really big where you have like the tea and stuff. So usually like they don't sell like hot, I mean I'm sure they do, but it's not popular to get tea from, or hot tea from McDonald's back home. And then like here like they have Popeyes, but they don't have gravy, just because like when every time I try to explain gravy to someone, they're like, no, like what is that? So it's always different every country you go to. um I learned that Germany, and there might be some other countries too, but Germany doesn't have to pay for their education at all. So I was talking to a guy from Germany, and he was telling me how he doesn't pay, or he hasn't paid like a cent for his college education, and I thought like that's crazy. And also Justin like was telling me how Germany's going to make it free for like international students if they wanted to go study in Germany. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I mean, it's the way it should be, because like if someone doesn't have access to education, like that just sucks, and you don't want to go into loans and debts and all that. So, um, very, very interesting. And also, speaking of education, this is happening right now in Valparaiso, which is like 10 minutes away. The kids that go to public school, they're actually going on strike, and they're like having protests and all this. It's been going on for like a week or so, or maybe a little bit longer. And they're actually not going to school right now, like while all this is happening. Um, and they're protesting against like not having to pay for their education. And I also found a video of like all the protests going on, so I'll definitely link that up so y'all can see what it's like. And then so that's enough. That's all my differences. And then so we'll go into soccer. So last week, um, yeah, it was last week. We had like a game. We lost 3-1. I scored, um, but and I got my first yellow card. I took out like two goalies. The first one like had to get out of the game, and then the second one like she got hurt, but like they didn't have enough players, so she just stayed playing. Um, but yeah, and then we have our semifinals this week, so um, keep you updated with that. Also played soccer with the just like intercommune students, and that's just all the exchange students, and that was really fun. Always enjoy that. We went to Valpo again just to explore, look at all the graffiti signs. We like spent, I think, like an hour or so trying to find There's like a Kendrick mural graffiti of him in Valpo. We're like spent forever trying to find that. And we also went to this. It's very different. This restaurant in Valpo. It's like in the hills and kind of really hidden. And but we heard about it from somebody. So you go in and you actually sit on the floor. And this is my first time sitting on the floor. You take off your shoes before you go in. You sit on the floor like on these pillows, and then the whole meal was vegan. So like vegan, if you don't know, it's nothing from animals. So like not even cheese, milk. Like if it comes from an animal, vegans don't eat it. So this whole meal was vegan. She brought us things like five different things. So it had like an appetizer. First we got like hot tea, and then we got like this snack. It's like these crackers, bread with this little orange like dip thing. That was that, and then there was like a salad, and then there was like a lasagna similar to the lasagna, and then there was even like a dessert. And yeah, you would just like finish one thing and then they would bring the next thing and then the next thing. It was pretty neat. It was really good. And also it wasn't like there wasn't a price. So at the very end they just brought this like can, and they just said pay whatever you think or pay whatever you'd like. And I've never done that before, so that was pretty interesting. I would definitely recommend going to that place. And so I don't remember the name of it, but I can find it for you. Let's see. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, and then this happened before going to Valparaiso. So I was like taking the bus. And when I was taking the bus, there was like this old guy laying on the floor, like not on the floor, in the middle of almost in the middle of the street. And he was like trying to get run over, and like there was people like standing by him, so like cars like wouldn't hit him. And he was like trying to scoot like closer to the cars, and then like people were trying to get him up, but like I was already getting on a bus, and I was like, what's happening? And but like when my bus was leaving, like they got him up and off the street. So, but that was really weird. Never seen anything like that. Um, so for my finals here, they are pretty easy compared to back home. So like back home, I'd like be studying all night, pulling all-nighters, but here mostly all my finals are just presentations. And like we also for Spanish, like we had like a quiz test. It wasn't too hard, but then like tomorrow we have like an oral test. So I'm really not stressing about finals, which is actually nice. And then Friday we had like a farewell party at the university, and they had like food for us, empanadas, but it was like really really cold. That part sucked, but it was still fun. So like the lady in charge of our whole exchange program, she put on like all these little activities. We got split into groups. We had like four different groups, and the first was like I don't even know what to call it. Too late for me. Um, I don't know, but it had different stages, and you had to like complete one stage before you can go to the next round. And so the first one was like a three-legged race, and then ours was like we had to blow up balloons, and then it had like notes of a certain way you had to pop the balloon with a partner. And then the next table was it had a plate of flour, and there was like hidden candies in the flour, and a person had to like go through the flour and find the candies, and then once they found the candies, they had to open them and eat them. That looked like it sucked. There was like flour over at like all over their faces. And then the next one, there was like it's kind of like an eating contest. There was an empanada with, yeah, it's called ají sauce, and it's just like this really really hot, like really really hot sauce, and they put it all over the empanada, and the person had to like eat it. And I don't know why, but one of the persons in charge told one of the girls like it's a good idea if you just lick all the sauce off and then eat the empanada. And I'm like, no, that's like the worst idea. You're spending like more time licking it and then like and yeah, it's just bad idea. Like her mouth was on fire. And then after that one, it was like a wheelbarrow. You had to hold their legs, and yeah, but we did not win. We were like one of the last ones. But our group did win tug of war, and then there was where you like a potato sack race. There was that, and yeah, it was really competitive, but also really fun. And then at the end, they had like this farewell video. I'll link that too because I think we have it. But it was like really sad. It was I like wanted to cry for a second because my friend like right next to me was crying. But it was like all the good memories and had like all these photos of us throughout the year, and like they talked about like traveling and meeting new people and like all this stuff. So it's like finally about to set in because this is our last week here in Chile before everybody leaves, and people have already been leaving. So it's crazy how fast it went, and yeah, just crazy. So yeah, we had the farewell party, and then after we went to like a bar, and then more people came and stuff. So it was a good night, really good night. And then I had to wake up the next day to go volunteer, and I went surfing again. And I can't believe they still go surfing because it's like about to be winter here, and so it's pretty cold. And it was like at 11 in the morning, so it was even colder. Like the sun still wasn't. I mean, the sun was out, but not really. It was like covered by clouds, and like you could see your breath, and it was cold. But this time this group was like a lot smaller because usually we go with like two vans and there's like more than 10 kids, but this time there was only and actually this time it was like only all girls. Um, so there was like four, no, like five younger girls and then two older other volunteers. And so it was really fun. At first, I was with a girl. It's like she didn't want to get in the water. It was like too cold for her. She was like, "I'm gonna sit right here in the sand and just play with the sand." I was talking with her. We actually had a conversation. Um, so my Spanish definitely improved. And then finally went to go surf for a while. I can't believe I got in. It was super cold, but I even had like the hat um, and the shoes and everything. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. And so that was really fun. And then let's see. And then one of the days we went to the casino, and I was like, I want to play roulette, but not gonna spend that much money. So I was like, okay, I'll bet 2 mil. And so actually here is different because back home I think you have to the minimum bet everywhere is like $5 for roulette, but here it was like for the numbers, the minimum was like 1 mil. And if for the three of them, if you know how to put what roulette is, there's like three on the side and three on here, like sections of what you can bet. So that was like the minimum was like 5 mil, and then for red and black it was like 10 mil. So the first number I put what I put it I always put the little things like right in the middle of four numbers so it's like have a better chance. So the first number I put like it hit, and so I was like, "Oh, nice." And then started playing a little bit more, and then I put it in between like a zero, and then the zero hit, so I won again. And then I was like, "Ooh, like Justin's always like always put your money on black." And I was like, and I never like to do that because I'm like, what if I lose? But then I was like, nah, let me do it this time because it was like, because on the screen they always have like the numbers like that it just passed. So kind of like a history of the numbers. So it's like red, red, red. It hit like a zero and then red. So I'm like, black has to hit. So I put like all my money on black and then I lost. But it was still fun. I only lost 2 mil, which isn't that much. Um, so we did that, the casinos, and then the next day was like elections, and they closed down everything because we went to the outlets like that day, and they closed early, and then like the next day a lot of things are closed, and I don't know the reason why they are closing everything so early. And then, let's see, another day we went to go watch the Chile game versus Mexico at a friend's house. And I actually thought Chile was going to lose, but yeah, they killed Mexico. Like, I don't even know how, but yeah, they got killed. And I'm actually going to miss watching Chile's games here just because they get so hyped. And yeah, definitely going to miss it. Because, and back home too, like, I really don't like I love playing soccer, but I really don't like watching it. But I feel like now, like after going to all these games, like I'm gonna, I guess, shift my mindset and kind of like it. I only like it when like I know someone playing, or I don't know, we'll see. And then uh yeah, my mom was always telling me like, aren't you ready to come home? And I think eventually, like now that it's time like to kind of go home and stuff, like I actually am getting ready. Like I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to go home because like here I feel like after a while like you just keep doing the same old things like on the weekend, like go out, blah 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 blah. Um and like there's always like you can travel, but you can only travel so much. And I feel like after this Peru trip, like I'm just gonna be done with traveling, just want to be home, like chill and stuff. So um and then let's see. Oh, also my friend, one of my best friends, Ruben, is coming with me to Peru. He's gonna meet me in Cusco, and we're gonna hike a trail together and go to Machu Picchu. And so I'm really excited for that. So this, yeah, so that's it. That was week 15 and 16. So next week will be about my last week here and my last video right before I go to Peru. So I'll continue to keep you updated.